Hi there, it's Jan here. Welcome to my channel. Again, it's been a while, but sorry about that, but I'm back today. And today I want to show you how I'm going to make my new venture, which is these toppers here that I'm going to make up earlier, and then just so they take up less space to store. I'm going to put them on my Etsy shop, and also I'm going to show you how to make the toppers, but also then I'm going to show you, making up a card using a topper, because traditionally they are used mostly by scrapbookers. In fact, when I looked it up, I couldn't find any examples that apart from little tiny stacks and things like that. And I just think that that's that us card makers are missing out, really, to be honest, because they've got so much use other than just the basic scrapbooking and things. So yeah, okay, I thought I would show you how to make the topper. I showed this card yesterday on my Facebook and my little Facebook group, mixed reviews, but hey, I like making them, and this is the way forward for me, so I'm just going to carry on doing what I want to do. Previously, up until now, I've always done card sketches, and I produce card sketches plus a card example each week, and hoping that people sort of join in. But I think I've come after about 3 years and 300 probably cards and card sketches. I've probably come to the end. I may do a few more at some point, but I think I've probably come to the end of how many ways you can stick pieces of paper down onto a card, and it's just time for me to kind of develop and move on and do some other things, and this happens to be what I really enjoy. So yeah, this is yesterday's card. I hope you can see it. I will try to bring it forward a little bit and just check if you can see, because my camera's upside down. It's a phone camera. My camera's upside down, so I can't see. But anyway, this part here with the robin and the sticker bit here and this and the vellum, that's all the topper. And I've stuck it, as you can see. All this card then needs is a small panel of DSP or something embossed on this side, and you just put down your topper that you sort of might have made much earlier on in the year when you had 5 minutes to sit down, and you just grab one out of the cupboard or whatever and stick it on, line it up, card done. So these happen to be Christmas cards, but obviously you can do birthday, you can do absolutely anything really. It just depends. So you can, have a bit of fun making toppers and see where you go with it. So I have got, as you can see, an array of bits and pieces around me. Let me put this one out of the way for the moment because it's getting in the way. But I'm sorry for any noise. I have to have the window open because it is so hot here. It's unbelievable. I think just for this week, and I think that's Christmas, I think that's summer holidays, you know what I mean? We haven't had any summer here at all. I'm in UK and I'm in a small park called Essex. So anyway, today, I just need to check if this is all in focus. Yeah, today I have been batch making some poinsettia little topper things, and I'm going to use one of them today to make this, I don't know what you call it, all I can think of is card topper. So I've made them in a variety of different sizes. There's slightly different patterns. These ones here are, as you can see, they're about 2 inches, something like that, maybe a bit smaller. Even the bigger one still fits within that 2 inches, and that's quite a good size if you're going to make cards, as I do, that are 5.5 by 4.25. So let me put all these away and I will begin. I'm hoping this is not going to be a long video. I'm going to try to edit it and everything, but I'm not very good at that sort of stuff, but I will give it a go. So I've got my card base, and what I've decided to do with this one is make just a plain, well, not plain, it is pattern, but I'm going to make a mat like that. In this one here, what I did was I had a topper that was this wide, and then I cut a piece of card to this size, and that left me with a gap in the middle. So what do you do with that gap? What I should have done really, I think, was put a piece of washi tape down it, but today for ease I'm just going to make that entire piece into a mat. So that's the mat that fits on there. So if the card is 5.5 by 4.25, your mat needs to be 5.25 by 4. Okay, and these toppers that I'm going to make, that I'm going to like package up and sell them on my Etsy, etc. They, as well as use them obviously, these need to be a total of about 1.5 if you're going to do these edges. So as I say, I think these are quite popular with scrapbookers, but I thought, well, you know, there's no reason why they couldn't be used on a card. You need a decent weight, I suppose, of cardstock for your base, but anything goes really. And also sometimes I use them across the top like this, so I don't only use them sort of up the side of the page like that. See, already that looks nice, and then you put this on it. I like to do my edges in 2 layers. I just think it looks, you know, looks a bit more finished, a bit more smart, but you can get away with 1 layer. That looks nice actually, green and gold, or the green and this sparkly red. So yeah, and they don't take much sort of paper, they don't take much materials. From a, you know, to make a 5.25 page edger, you only need a sheet of a 6x6 pad or something. So okay, let's get started. Let me put these out of the way for the moment, because the first thing we need to make is one of these little poinsettia toppers. You can make these without sticking them onto this, and just store these. These are, you know, these are fine as embellishments. They're perfectly fine, but I'm going to make them where they're actually completed, so I can just take them out. I will use these as well though to make other embellishments, so this is going to be like a set of them, so hopefully there'll be a set of videos. Anyway, let's crack on. So what I need, I have die cut 3 of these little tiny poinsettia flowers. I don't know if you can see them, I hope you can, but that's the smallest poinsettia die that I have. I can't even find it now, it's so small, and honestly you should see my desk at the moment, it's like a white tip. But anyway, that's the smallest poinsettia die I have, and anyway, that's what I'm going to use to make these with. So first of all, I will show you what I do. I tried an experiment on this one by daubing white ink on here, because I watched a different video many years ago where it said that it makes it look a bit velvety, and it is pretty, it's very nice, but for these ones I'm going to leave these ones just plain red, so you can do what you like really. Right, okay, so in order to give these a bit of shape, I've got this old mat here. I think it was for doing parchment crafts actually, years ago. But anyway, that's what I've got here. It's a bit, there we go. Let's just double check. You've got it in your, have you got it in the screen? Yeah. Okay, and I'll put this one here to remind me of what I'm doing, or what I'm supposed to be doing. Right, I find these really, really useful. I don't know if you've seen these. I mean, they're donkeys years old, my ones, but they must make other ones. But they're a mister as opposed to a sprayer. And they put out a very fine mist of water, or you can actually put mica powder in them or inks or whatever you want to do. But it just gives a very fine mist as opposed to a spray, and that's what I want for these. So I'm going to dampen them. When they're this small, it just really helps if I dampen them. And I'm going to use a very small ball tool. So I've got them right side up, and I'm simply going to I'm going to hold it down in the middle, and I'm simply going to go down each sort of petal, although they're leaves actually, and just simply press with medium hardness and draw a line. There's one. Put that out of the way. This is number 2. I tried it with different amounts of these things, thinking more would look better, but actually it doesn't. It's one of those things where the fewer you can use, the better the overall effect. So I think this one is layered right up. This is layered up with about 6 layers. And it's nice, it looks nice, but I just think these look more effective if you're using them small. So anyway, let's carry on with this. It's really simple to do. Like this. Like this. And that's the last one. And now all I'm going to do is use my pointed tweezers. I'm going to put the point of the tweezers down that scored line and press the leaves together upwards. Hold on, let me make sure you can see what I'm doing. Put that there and press the leaves together upwards like that. So you end up with this shape. I'm going to do that on all 3 flowers. Oh, I hope you're not too distracted by my fan in the background, because besides having the window open, I've also got the fan on. But I wouldn't not survive if I didn't, because it is so warm today. Suddenly out of the blue. Sometimes I give them a bit of a twist as well, but you know, it's not necessary. It's just however you grab the leaf really with your pointy tweezers. One more to go. There we are. Right, okay, so that's those 3. Now again, I'm going to use this ball tool. I'm going to use one of the larger ends here, and I'm just going to stick them together. So a little bit of glue in the centre. Stick the next one on, in, you know, making sure that the leaves are sort of alternate like that. Hold it down for a moment or 2, press it down with your ball tool. Like that, and then do the next one. Just alternate them as best you can. You don't have to be too fussy over it, because the plant itself is not particularly fussy. If you take a look at the poinsettias. Right, so when I'm doing anything like this, if it's a cluster of flowers or just one flower and some leaves or whatever, I always put a base on it so that they're all held together nicely. Okay, so let's put that down there for a moment, put that back there, move this, And for this I'm going to use a 5/8 of an inch punch, and just from the same colour of red on here I'm just going to punch a circle. Anything smaller than 5/8 is maybe a bit fiddly to deal with. So now I am going to stick this onto here, but I'm going to off-centre it so it's not right in the middle. I always use this wet glue. I think this one's called Cosmic Shimmer. I don't have any problems with it. You know, it sticks just about anything to anything as far as I have found. So I'm gonna, oops, get rid of that hair off that mat. Nobody wants a hairy poinsettia. And I'm just gonna stick this flower down and, as I say, put it not quite in the centre. What I'm looking for, let's hold it down, what I'm looking for is a bit of a space around the edge. Let's move that, a little bit of a space around the edge on one side on which to stick the leaves. So this is sort of about a third over, I suppose. Okay, now to build this up into something like this, I have got a few other bits and pieces that I cut out, and the leaves are actually the same die cut, but I just cut the leaves apart. So there's 5 petals to that. Hopefully you can see it. I did score down the middle, but I haven't folded them in half. They don't need it. Oops, let's move that out of the way. They don't need it. So I tend to do things in 3s. So I'm going to add 3 leaves. So I'm going to just put a little blob of glue on, find a convenient space and stick a leaf down. There we go, like that. So what I've done here is I've used a die, the same poinsettia die, but it's just one size up. So I've got slightly bigger leaves, and I'm just going to push them in here. I'm sticking them to that red circular base that I showed you. Oops, just poke it under here a bit. Doesn't want to be poked by the look of it. But I tend to put, say, 2 and then space one out, maybe put one down here, just wherever I can fit it in. It's not really an exact thing, it's just what looks nice to you. So let's hold this down and just poke this one in somewhere and stick it to that little base thing that I showed you. So now we've got this. There's nothing showing on the other side. They're all stuck in there. Hope you can see that. Okay. And now I'm going to put together a few leaves. And instead of using green for the foliage, which you can do, obviously, you can use whatever colour you want, I have gone for gold because it's quite Christmassy, so I'm going to use gold. Now I found that this is a pine leaf, but it's still a little bit big for what I want, so I'm just going to cut the bases off there, about there, because they stick out too far if I'm not careful. And I'm just going to tuck them in and arrange them. So I just need a little dab of glue on here like this. Tuck that in there, overlap maybe the green leaves. It's entirely up to you how you want to arrange the foliage. It's just, I tend to do it sort of a bit like this. Then I quite like this one just for a bit of variety. So again, I'm going to cut this down to a size that I think is more manageable. Take the end stem off of it, but still keep them joined together. A dab of glue. Oops, nice dab of glue. The good thing about this glue is it dries clear as well, the same as the sort of art glitter glue or whatever, so you don't get any, even if you're a bit heavy-handed with it, it doesn't matter. So that I'm going to put in there. I'm just tucking them inside those petals. I don't know if you can see, hold on. So they're now stuck down to that bigger piece of that circle, because we put the flower over here, so that gives you the gap to stick these down. So they're all basically stuck onto the circle, and the circle is sort of covers all the works behind. I think I will jazz it up a bit with another, I've got another one of these leaves, these sort of berry things. That's quite nice. I'm gonna stick that on, I think, probably, but it's a bit big, so I'm going to probably take off that last part of the stem. Whoops. Okay, so let's put a nice dab of glue on here. You only need it on the base because the rest of it is just free. It's you can't stick it down, otherwise you won't be able to stick it to you won't be able to store them. So I'm going to put this here and overlap it a bit. Fluff my flower up a bit. Oops, stuck it to the table, what an idiot. Okay, what I won't do with this one is stick all these gems on, because it just takes forever. So yeah, you can just then decorate up your little ornament as much as you like. You can stick gems all over it if you want to. I'm going to put a gold center, because the middle of a poinsettia is like a group of little gold blobs. There's usually about 3 or 4 of them, but there isn't room in this one, so I'm just going to put a gold gem in it. Put a lid on my glue. You can see how quick and easy these are. I'm going to take not quite the smallest one, I'll take the next size and just pop that in there, and hopefully it will stay where I put it. Hold it down for a moment or two, and then just fluff the flower up. Now the other thing I did with these flower petals here is I popped a bit of stickles around them, and I used diamond because that's like a gold shade. I absolutely love my stickles, love them. I use them all the time, but I like a bit of glitz and glamour, so, but obviously you don't have to if you don't want to. I find it looks better if you just put it on one edge, you know, like this. A little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit on that leaf, and that one, and a little dab. You only have to put little tiny dobs on it, sort of mainly near the tip. It's just to catch the light, really. Okay. Right, so that looks pretty. So, let me move some bits out of the way. I don't need this, and I don't need, oh, I do need that one, don't I? Yeah, and I'll move this one as well. Right, let's just clear a space here. Like I say, you should see my craft room, my goodness. Right, okay, so how to make it into a an actual, I don't know what they call it, you know, just a side panel thing, is that I have, according to the measurements, which I will list underneath this video, I'm going to put this, I think they're called page edges. Yeah, probably, if you look it up, it's probably called a page edger. Yeah, so I am going to, what I want to do is I want to create, you know, a space here. I want to get the proportions right, and for a 4-inch wide card mat, you need to have 1.5 inches for the topper and 2.5 inches for the plain panel or whatever else you're going to do. Okay, so the topper needs to not exceed 1.5 inches by the time you've cut it. So what I did was, let's move that. I've decided to go for the gold and the red, as I showed you before. This has got a bit of sparkle to it as well. And I used one of my edger dies, which is, where is it? I haven't just used the wretched thing. I can't find the actual one at the moment, but here's another sort of couple of examples of them. This one and this one. So, you know, you get them in packs. You can, you know, they come in all sorts of different edgings and things, and the one I used is this one for this card. I think I used that one for this card. Yeah, I did, just the plain with the stitching, but I've used this sort of fluted one here. The other thing you can do, actually, if you don't have any of these, is you can simply draw yourself out a template by drawing up a piece of paper. Let's put this here. So taking a scrap piece of paper, this is going to be very, very rough, I do warn you. I wouldn't use this, but you measure down to your 5¼ inches wherever you want it, say it's that length there, and you can just draw like a wavy line however you want to do it. Maybe it'll disappear off the page, and just use that as your template to cut any pieces of paper out. And obviously if you want to do it layered like I have, you just, if you've got your template, you just move it up the paper a bit so that you've got one underneath that's a mirror shape like that. And another effective thing you can do is cut them with you know those children's scissors that come in all different, you know, they've got like little shaped blades. That makes a nice effective edge as well. Right, okay, so here's mine. So this is the first thing I'm going to do, and I'm just umming and ahhing about whether I'm going to pop it up on a piece of dimensional tape. And I think, if I can find it, I think I will actually, because I think that looks nice. Right, what have I done with my dimensional tape? There it is. I like sort of dimension on my things, but again, if you don't, then simply don't do it. You know, it's just one of those things, whatever pleases you. So I'm going to raise this one up. Let's see if it's the same width. Not quite. So let me stick it down here like this, and then I can trim it to fit. So that's there. I hope I keep being in the view. My big scissors are here, and I'm just going to level that up. Cut this spare off, but I'm going to keep this spare because I'll be using it later on in the card. Try and stick to the line. Excuse me. Right, okay. That's those I think I'm using the Sizzix. Oh no, I'm not. I'm using ordinary scissors, but I do have a pair of those scissors that are Teflon coated, and so they're non-stick basically. Right, so let's take the layer off of this, the backing layer. The backing layer off of that. Then I'm going to just line it up. I'll do it this way round for ease. And I'm just going to line it up so that both the bottom edges are level, she says. There we go. more. There we are. And that looks really nice. Looks very pretty. Right, okay, so now for me, that's kind of looking a bit plain, because if I plonk my flower down, it's a little bit, I mean, you can do, it's not, I don't know, it's not too bad, it's quite okay. It's just I want a bit more to it, I want a bit more embellishment on my card. So I have decided to, I've taken this green and I've cut a very thin strip. I've got a guillotine cutter and it does this brilliantly. And I've also cut a variety of other pieces. I've cut some red because I thought it would go with that. I've got some gold. So yeah, one or, you know, a couple of strips of this can be, and I'm going to leave a gap at the back. So I think the green looks nice. So I'm going to stick that down. Right, let's pop some glue on it. I've left it sort of a bit longer, and that way I can just trim it up how I want to. So I'm just going to run a bead of glue down it. Hopefully you can still see this. Let's push it forward. So sorry if you can't. But like I say, I'm doing it off of my phone, and one of these days I will show you my homemade overhead rig up for using my phone to film. It's honestly, it works, but it's the funniest thing you've ever seen. I can't take the camera down at the moment, but I haven't got a, you know, well, I have got one, but I never did get to grips with how to use it. Right, now shall I make this green and red? Maybe. Or what about green and gold? Keep the red, although we do need something to pick that red up really, to tie it all together. So yeah, green and red. And then maybe gold as well. Maybe. Let's do green and gold first. No, let's do green and red first, because then if I don't like the gold, I don't have to stick it down. So let's do this green and red. And down here, just one little line of glue. I think these were about 1/8 of an inch, or I just trimmed them off of edges of scraps. Some I've done even thinner, like this one here. This is about less than 1/8 of an inch, definitely. So I'll probably leave a tiny white gap, because that's quite nice, although it's a bit hard to manoeuvre. But anyway, we'll give it a go. How's that? Looks all right, doesn't it? And now, shall I add the gold as well? Let's see what it looks like with the flower on it. Just take that off and just put the flower on that. No, because it means the flower's got to sit further back. So yeah, I'm actually going to run this piece of gold down it as well. Ooh. What about a green? Another green. The thinner green. Maybe butt it up. All these decisions. Hang on, let's put it on the base. Right, put it on the base. Put that there. I'm going to leave a tiny green gap here. And let's try putting this green on here. What do you reckon, guys? And the flower. nice, isn't it? Or take it off and just have the flower. No, it needs something. Or have the gold. I'm sure you're shouting at me. Leave it, leave it. Quite a few of my fans are of the less is more, which is weird considering I don't do less is more. What about that? Too much gold? Let's go for the green. Otherwise we'll be here all day. Yeah, we'll go for the green, even though it's not level, but you'll never notice actually. Right. So you just go by your eye, what looks nice to you. You know, it don't have to be absolutely perfect, but if it looks nice to you, then go for it, you know. Move this over a bit. It's a bit on the wonk. Looks like it's had a liquid lunch. Right, okay, red and green. Let me now just get up and put the light on, because believe it or not, it's actually quite dull in here. Sorry about this. I will try and edit this out. Right, back. So I'm going to cut the edges off, trim it up so it's nice and level. Hopefully once you see how easy it is to do these, it's fiddling about, but you know, I just think it makes all the difference to the card. I like decorated cards. For me, I know a lot of people like that whole kind of minimal look, but to be honest with you, if I'm going to put the effort into making a card, I want it to look like I've made it, because you know, I could go to Card Factory and buy a card that's got minimal design on it. Why would I bother with all these thousands of pounds worth of dies and all the rest of it? Okay, but to each their own, you know, it's up to everybody what they prefer, and I just happen to prefer this. Right, what I'm looking for on this joke that is called a desk is a sentiment that I cut out, and I put it so carefully somewhere that I can't find it, and I really don't want to have to cut another one out. Bum. What could I have done with it? It's not there. Aha! It was lurking in a corner. So, I mean, like I say, I've got, I'm doing these as Christmas ones at the moment, but there could be anything, couldn't they? There could be happy birthday. You could stamp your sentiment on any shape you want. You know, the sky's the limit when you do these, really. I think I'm going to put my sentiment up here and my flower up here. I'll show you why. I've got, oops, that'll have to go there. If that's going to have to go, no, that's overlapping too much. So it's going to have to go that way round. So keep one back side, if you like, this side, as close to being flat as you can, because otherwise it will be hanging over the card and you won't be able to, you know, you won't be able to sort of use it. So I'm going to do something like that. Now the other thing is, for this card, on this one here, I put it on the left hand side, and this one I'm going to try putting on the right hand side and see what happens. I don't think there'll be any problem with it. We'll soon find out. So that goes on there. And I have got, what have I done with them? What have I done with my little cutouts? Oh, here they are. I've got a couple of reindeer because although it's very pretty, it's just, for me, it's a bit bare. So I have cut a couple of reindeer out to put on the actual card, and I don't want the message bit to interfere with the reindeer, so I've cut one in the gold, and unfortunately they face this way, and I want them to face into the card rather than out of it. I mean, you know, the other way around it would have been, let's put this the other way around so you can I'll show you my thinking process. So if it goes that side like that, then the deer are facing away from the card, and don't know, it just doesn't appeal to me, that. So anyway, I'm going to put it this way round like this. Just pop that back there, and I'm going to put these, just temporarily put these deer on, just so as I get a view of where to put the sentiment. So that goes there, and I've cut this one out. I thought tartan might be nice, and I have, using the same die, cut out some black craft foam and just stuck it on the back, just to give this one a bit of dimension. And I'm going to stick him kind of down there, I think. So therefore, oh, and then I had a thought, let's put a little star up there. There you go, like that. So that looks all right, doesn't it? Do you like that? And then I thought, well, you know, they kind of get a bit lost on there, so I have also cut out a piece of sticky back vellum that I might put behind them. I might not, but I might put behind them. I'll see how it looks. It might not need it. I mean, I'm only putting these down roughly at the moment, obviously. So that could go over there a bit. That can hang over there. I don't mind a little bit of him hanging over the edge, because we have got the gap around that's the card. So now I want to put my pretty flower on up here a bit. See why I haven't stuck it down first? What I do with the ones that I'm selling, or I'm going to be selling in my pack, is I make this longer so that people can cut off the top, the bottom, or centre it, or do whatever they want with it. So, right, and now this I want to slide in here. So yeah, I think that looks all right. Now the question is whether or not to use the vellum. Don't know yet. Right, so let's start with this. Stick this down. Nice and neat and flat on the back so it can be just stuck. I'm going to use my wet glue again for this. It's just drying up on me because it's so warm. It's all thick. And it's pointless me thinning it out, because as soon as the sun goes down it will be thin and runny again, so I'll just have to suffer it. Right, okay, so I prefer to do it this way around, that way I can see what I'm doing and get it lined up. Just very carefully. You'll notice that I've got shaky hands. Just again, it's just one of those things, nothing I can do about it, but sometimes it gets so hard I can't even hold a pencil or something, you know what I mean? So it is a bit on the difficult side. Right, let's stick on my star so that I know where I'm going to place everything else. This is going to make a nice cute little card actually, and it's actually one that I'd be proud to give away because, you know, it looks like I've actually done something to make it. I've not just kind of, you know, not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with it, but I haven't just got a topper and put on a background and that's the card. You're actually doing something artistic to make it, and a little bit of effort goes a long way, I think. Right, let's put a little gemstone in the middle. Might as well splash out on some gems. Probably this size, the same as went in the flower. God, this is so difficult to do. Yeah. Hopefully that's in the middle. Let's clean that up a little bit. If you do get glue on your mirror card, don't worry about it. Don't touch it, don't mess about with it or anything. Let it dry. And when it's dry, you can use a normal eraser, just a normal one, and you can actually rub it off. Right, okay, so now comes the question of whether or not I use the vellum for the deer. So I'm going to put him here, hanging over the edge a bit. I'm going to put him here. 2 hims, haha. Obviously one of them I suppose must be a her, him and her. She can be the gold one. And whether or not it needs the vellum, let's have a look. I'll peel the backing off and see. Might not need it, but I just thought that it might help it shine through a bit. I like sticky back vellum because you can't see where you've stuck it down. So let's put that there. I'm not going to stick it down, I just want it to hold temporarily, and put that there. This one here and this one here. Does it provide enough of a contrast? Does it need it or doesn't it? Don't know, I'm undecided. Hopefully you can see that. I think probably if I can get it off, I'll leave it off. It doesn't seem to add anything to the card, so I will not use that. I'll use that on another card. Right, Mrs. Gold Deer. Oops. Let's put some glue on you. Smear it all over the place. And then tap it on the back of my hand to get rid of the excess. And it's just so satisfying peeling off dried glue. Don't know if you've ever done it. It's wonderful. It's like peeling the skin off. We used to do it all the time at school. Right, okay, so stick that down to get the excess glue off and place her down. Now I want her to be kind of up a bit, sort of about here, because I want there to be space for him. Gently tap down so it doesn't squidge all out. Yep. And now him, the same. Be easier to put the glue on because he's thicker. He's got this backing on. Sorry, that's my dogs. Lots of noise going on around here. There you go, can't do anything much about it, I'm afraid. Right, plenty of glue. Let's dab his antlers off. That's going to be so much fun tonight while I'm sitting in front of the telly. There we go. There's him. He's stuck down with a bit of dimension. And now I have the last pleasure of putting down my actual topper. which I will put on there, and I think I will stick that down with some of this tape that I cut off. So let's put a piece on the leaf. Oh gosh, the backing's come off it, it's horrible, sticky, yuck. Right, so that can go on there, just needs a little bit. Snip it off so it doesn't all show. We need a bit on the actual, which side is sticky? That side. So we need a bit on here. Trim that off. Whoops. I'll probably have to touch up the stickles again afterwards because I haven't had a chance to let this sort of sit and dry. So it probably will come off on my hands or something. Right, let's put that on. Right, that's some dimension tape. Move that out of the way. Peel off these backings. 1, 2, 3. Put the pin back in my glue before it dries right out. See what I mean about shaky hand? I can't even line things up. It's crazy and I hate it. Right, let's put this on here to give me an idea where to stick this. So that will be there. Let's just put that down lightly for a moment. I'm going to put some glue on the back of this. It's coming along as a right nice little card. I like it. But like I say, if all you've got to do when you come to make this card, if you've already got a topper made, all you have to do is cut out a backing mat, decorate it up a little bit, put your sentiment on and add your topper. End of. You know, no problem. 5-minute card. I don't know how long this has been. It's been a while, but if you've already got the topper made, 5 minutes. Right, there we go. Hopefully that's straight, but I can't particularly see it. Hold on, let's hold it up. Yeah, it looks about straight. So let's just press that down, push these bits down, fluff up my flower a bit, and stick it on my card. Right, I'm going to use the bigger bottle of glue for that because I'll be there all day trying to get this to stick. Right, where's the bigger bottle? There it is. I decant it out of these bigger bottles into those smaller ones. Okay, so there's my card. There's my mat with the topper. Here's the glue that doesn't want to come out. Ooh, that's well jammed up. Oh no, it isn't. There we are. That's fine. That's going to come out now. So here's my topper, my card and topper. Come on, don't mess about. Be nice. Play nicely. It's just got to get moving and then you'll be all right. That's it. There we go. See, you can do it. Still not flowing really well, but it's good enough. There we go. I'm gonna pop this down. make sure it's lined up. Yep, it is. Fine. And there we go, there's the card with a good bit of dimension, and that is using what is essentially a scrapbooking topper. So, you know, if you're creative, you can find other uses for things. I hope you do go on to try and use some of these. I'm going to post lots more examples of all sorts of different embellishments that I'm making, and you know, hopefully you'll watch along and get some ideas, maybe try them out yourself. But yeah, okay. Alright, well, thank you for watching. Hang on, let me get my other card over. There it is. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate the time that you spend with me. I'm a bit erratic when it comes to videos, but I've got a few medical circumstances. Oh, the other thing is I had a spare die cut of the deer, so what I'm going to do is probably when I come to make the inside bit of the card and put some prints and stuff on it, I'll put the deer in the card like that, just to finish it off. But anyway, yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching, and see you again soon. Take care. Bye.